Fellow citizens of the United States of Biafra, compatriots, we started our lecture series, Biafra 101. This will be Biafra 101 Talk 2. And we're going to discuss the form of government, the form, structure, and the system of government that Biafra State is going to be. Biafra will be a confederal state, and the name will be United States of Biafra, Union of Biafran States, USB, Union of Biafran State, or United States of Biafra, UBS or USB. Now, for close to 3 years, a constitutional engineering process has started in Biafra. People, constitutional lawyers, people in various trades and professions have been gathered together in the process of constitutional engineering. I happen to be one of the members of the Constituent Assembly in drafting the Constitution for the Biafran State. Now, where we meet regularly and to update and to look at the various fears raised. An example of various constitutions, we have looked at Ethiopian Constitution, the Indian Constitution, the South African Constitution, the Switzerland Constitution, and the structure and form of the EU. We have looked at all these and we decided that the form of government and the structure of government of Biafra will be confederation. There will be several confederal units. And then the question is, which are going to be the confederal units? The confederal units will be any group of people, either nationality or sub-nationality, that wants to be a confederal unit of the state. And if there is an unanimity among the people and there's a referendum where referendum is necessary, such a unit will be admitted as one of the confederating units of the Biafran state, the Union of Biafran State, or United States of Biafra. Now, devolution of power will be 100%. The federating units will be 75% detached, independent from the central government. Virtually everything will be in the residual list for the state. The state will take care of issues of education, issues of policing, issues of health, issues of agriculture, etc. The preoccupation of the central government will be to take care of defending the territorial integrity of the Biafran state, the territorial integrity of the Biafran state. So the armed forces of the Biafran state will be controlled by the central government, while the government of the state will control the police, the prison service, and so on. The states will have their own custom service, while immigration and secret service will be in the hands of the state government or of the central government. There will be a Supreme Court, an industrial arbitration court, Biafran Industrial Arbitration Court, and boundary arbitration and conflict resolution courts. These courts are going to look at conflict resolution, boundary dispute, etc., among states. Revenue, accruable revenue, there's a difference between these things will be adjudicated by the Supreme Court of the Biafran state. Now, when we talk of devolution of power, you know that is power going from one step down to another step to another step. There are only two steps of government that concern the Biafran state. Two steps of government. Well, that is the confederating unit and the central government. Each of the confederating unit can decide to have different layers of government. That is left for the confederating unit. We're not going to go into the nitty-gritty of what the confederating units are going to be. But the constitution of, in terms of foreign affairs, in terms of having foreign relations with other countries, is going to be both the confederating units and the state, like what's happening in Tanzania. Zanzibar still maintain consular representation in many countries. Tanzania has embassies in the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and other Saja, Dubai. They all have consular relationship with other countries, and so on and so forth. There will be a central bank, one Biafran central bank, and there will be one currency, a Biafran currency that will be central. So there will be a central bank that regulates the financial activities of the Biafran state. Financial activities of the Biafran state. Financial policies and regulations and so on will be. But each of the states will, in revenue sharing, there will be no revenue allocation, there will be revenue sharing. All natural resources will be shared 70% to the federating unit, 30% to the center, because that is where the development is. Nobody will cheat. In issues like that, which is very touchy in the Nigerian situation. The finance minister of the Nigerian state had come out to say that most of the state produces nothing, they contribute nothing, but they take. That Lagos brings in to the central Nigerian post, central Nigerian unitary state post, 55% of the VAT. Now 55% of the VAT. Abuja brings in 20% of the VAT. Rivers State 6%, Kano State 5%, etc. So you find out that 86% of the VAT comes from just 3 states. 86% of the VAT comes from just 3 states. And this is not the whole truth. This is just part of the truth, because 80% of the VAT in Lagos ought to have accrued to Bayelsa, Delta, Akwa Ibom, and Rivers State, because all the oil majors and their subsidiaries have their headquarters, corporate headquarters in Lagos, and they pay their tax, they pay their VAT, they pay their income tax in Lagos. This ought not to be. It ought to have gone to the state of production. So if Biafra, an independent Biafran state, will not allow that, so it will be in the various states. So if Calabar is a federating unit, all the VAT accruable from oil production and gas production, of fisheries, of other production that are abundant in Calabar, we will go to Calabar. So you now have a situation where, for instance, Kaduna takes far more than Rivers State from VAT, and Kaduna brings in less than 1% of the VAT at the center. So all these issues will be discussed. Like, there is nothing about natural gas accruable. natural gas issues or natural gas, we don't know. This 419 is a corruption is like a battle handed from one government to another. Liquefied natural gas started with Obasanjo. Obasanjo started commission the LNG, LNG. And what is happening there? Until recently, we never had in the budget, there is no accruable from gas. There is no account of the gas revenue that comes in. We only heard that we had bonuses, we had this, about 5 billion, the good Lord government brought in about $5 billion. That's what we heard. And when sharing it, look at it, Kano took more than Rivers and Biafra from LNG. That no, this is not oil revenue, this is tax. Where did the tax come from? Kano took more than Biafra and Rivers in the sharing of that LNG windfall, as they call it. So these are the injustices that a lot of people have not talked about. That people are eating fat on other people. Like, for instance, the ports are working in Lagos, while efforts have been deliberately made to make sure that the ports in the ports at Abonima, the port in Degema, the port in Burutu, the port in Focados, the port in Brass, the port in Port Harcourt, the port in Calabar, the port in Warri, the port in Koko are short to make Lagos port to operate at the expense of the people of Biafra. So what we're trying to say is that Biafra will correct all these inadequacies and imbalances, and there will be freedom. Then, judiciary, like I said, there will be a Supreme Court. How do we get to our judges? Judges to go through a rigorous test, examination, knowledge, and character test. They will go through examination, knowledge, and character test before they will be chosen. So, our lectures today have been mostly on devolution of power. The form of government that will operate will be confederal government, where the confederating unit will have in the constitution is there. We have put it in the constitution. In the constitution, the right to secede. If any part of Biafra is tired, is uncomfortable, and want to leave, it will be subjected to a plebiscite. And that plebiscite, if they vote yes to leave the union, then they will be free to do so. Thank you. We'll continue with our lectures. We want you to ask questions. These questions, he said, faith coming by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So you ought to be here, you have to believe, so that if you don't know, you cannot have the knowledge of what is going to happen. We are going to go on and on these lectures and to give you ask questions. No abuses the engagement. We make this thing open for you. It's an open forum. You ask a question, we are going to answer. Thank you.